eyes have never seen someone so beautiful, so much charm, so much class. You're the first thought of each day. So appealing you are from me. Such a natural feeling of love. I'll take you away. Oh, I can't get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. I can't get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. I have received a love that's hard to so precious and so pure. You make each moment stand still. You took care of my heart, ever so gently. I can never repay you. No. Your desires I'm here to fulfill. I can't get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. I can't get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. You are you are the dream come true. You are beautiful, beautiful. I can get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. I can't get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. I can't get caught up when I see you. You're so beautiful. King Rastafari, I feel you in the building, my love. So welcome to Midnight Mindfulness. I am live on both platforms, so shout out to House of Healing LLC and also to BO Live. So this is going to be, I'm going to try to make this a quick Midnight Mindfulness session, but you guys know how we do. Whatever comes out, whatever comes up is going to come out. I am tired, so that's why I'm going to try and get through the downloads that I have, as quickly as I can. I do appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to the people who are joining me on YouTube as well. It's a natural feeling. Oh. I don't know if you guys remember this artist tweet, but for some reason, because I channel music, I channel messages, and for some reason, well, I know the reason when I actually think about it. But this song is called Beautiful by Tweet, if anyone is interested in it. And for some reason, after something that I saw today. I was channeling this song and it's so appropriate. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you really want to hear it, in its fullness, just look it up. It's Tweet. It's called Beautiful. And so, yeah, it's I don't know what year this came out. It was years ago, but I used to love it. And it's so appropriate for times. Not all the time, but sometimes. Okay. So, so basically, I want to kind of go into the live. The title of the Midnight Mindfulness session on YouTube is Hypnotic Rhythm. Okay, and I mentioned Hypnotic Rhythm a lot. I talk about it a lot, and I want to go a little bit deeper into it and show you how to unravel hypnotic rhythm. So share the live on Bigo Live. Share the love. Be love. I see you in the building, young. Like I said, King Rastafari. Welcome. You. So I want to talk about rising up this spiral of ascension. And this is also one of the reasons why, I'm in this energy of just love and appreciating beautiful things and beautiful experiences and beautiful souls and just, the the vibe of love, whether it's, being in romantic love or just loving the creation or loving the creator or loving yourself. Love is the answer, okay, for everything. And that's always going to be the basis of my teaching. So again, talking about rising up this spiral of ascension, um, the whole entire planet is doing. Um, we're basically, as a collective, the planet is moving into a closer orbit in relation to the sun. Okay, so when we talk about, certain people be talking about global warming and all of this, this is nonsense. Moving in closer relation to the sun is indicative of us moving closer in relation to our own central sun, which would be, again, that indwelling spirit, that imperishable Akh. Okay, this fire that we have within us, that is where the throne of God is set. Okay, and so I want to talk about us accelerating the healing process by moving closer to the sun as far as planetarily, collectively, and then moving internally closer to that indwelling spirit within us, which is the healer, which is the comforter, which is the fixer of all things broken, and who can provide the answers to all of our questions. And so, moving closer to this indwelling spirit, by doing the work on the self, the shadow work, the inner child work, the self love that is necessary to continue moving closer to this indwelling spirit. This is a process that adds power, to the positive love based conscious intentions that we bring into our mind, into our physical bodies, our spiritual and emotional bodies. um, this is the energy that is going to bring us into this state of balance, this state of alignment, homeostasis, this experience of wholeness or oneness. Okay, and once this oneness is achieved, and this can be achieved in many different ways, um, but I want to speak first of, achieving this within the self, and then being able to see this in your reality, because this is the way that it must be done. Okay, once we have achieved alignment mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally within the self, then we are what we, you can consider yourself magnetized. Okay, we are electromagnetic beings by nature. Okay, and so once you have achieved this wholeness, you have magnetized yourself, and you can then call forth or call to yourself anything that you desire. You can call to yourself abundance, love, joy, in a peaceful existence, in a new, higher, a vibrational version of the reality that you're in right now. Okay, a higher vibration of earth. And so working out our own salvation is, working out our own salvation would be us teaching by example, what and showing other people what they can become. So Yisrael would always talks about the scripture that says, let your light so shine before men, so that they can see your good works, and that the Father in heaven will be glorified. Let me I can't see my comments. Let me open my comments. Mark and Spellman, welcome to the chat, Mark. I remember you. Good to see you, love. Also, shout out to the 4 people in the chat on House of Healing, and also shout out to Bigo Live. Let me lock these boxes just for a minute, because I don't like to be interrupted when I go into channeling these messages. So I was talking about alignment, okay, and how when you are in alignment mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, then you are whole and you are divine, okay. And so when you are in your divinity with a simple thought, I won't say a simple thought, I will say a pure focused intention, you can literally stop the rain or tell a mountain to move, and it will be done. Okay, so the importance of healing is so important, because this is where we will be able to actually claim the real power that we are not even aware that we have. Okay, all is as it should be, Mark, and it has been a long time, but yeah, we've been growing and expanding and moving around, and holding our center. And so yeah, it's good to see you. I'm not surprised that things are coming back around, because we are coming around to the end of Mercury being in retrograde, and so that is one of the things that does tend to happen, and it is pertinent for the subject matter that I'm speaking on, because I'm speaking about hypnotic rhythm, which is all about cycles. And thus far, I've taught about hypnotic rhythm from the devil's point of view, so to speak. When I dissected Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, then I learned about hypnotic rhythm while I was reading that book. And I wouldn't say I learned about it, I learned the name of it, okay, because I always noticed the patterns. Okay, and so I was aware of the patterns, but to learn the name of it, and to be able to now be able to explain it and break it down and unravel this pattern that has been used against us, and to be able to unravel it and actually use it in a positive way to benefit us, is the reason why I'm here. And that's what the purpose of this particular live is about, is unraveling hypnotic rhythm and being able to use it for our benefit, instead of to as a tool of self-destruction, which is what it has been used for thus far. And so what's required again is alignment, okay? Mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional alignment creates wholeness, which equals divinity. Okay? And again, in your divinity, you have the power to move mountains, to stop the flow of the river if you should choose to. And this is due to that sacred presence of this indwelling spirit that is within us. Okay? And so this is an unstoppable flow of electromagnetic energy that's emanating from our heart center. When I always talk about love, and I want to explain what it is. I mean, we have all of these different explanations for it. And yes, there are a lot of byproducts of love, and a lot of manifestations, ways that it can manifest itself. But in its rawest essence, love is this unstoppable flow of electromagnetic energy that's emanating from the heart center, due to this presence, okay, of this builder that lives in our heart. This builder is magnetic in nature, okay. And so due to the magnetic nature of our heart, the energy that we project from the heart center, it naturally magnetizes to itself other energies of like vibration. Okay. And so this level of creation is happening, whether we're conscious of it or not. Okay. Let me read some of your comments. Healing can be difficult too, but I've been wanting to transmute past trauma and let those memories go, but I've never had the guidance. And when emotional healing comes, I feel physical. Yes, yes, Mark, because all of our bodies are connected. And so, yes, when you know how they say where our mind goes, our ass will follow. Okay, this is this is indicative of everything. It's mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. So when we begin to heal in one of those bodies, yes, every other body will be affected, just as when we, get out of balance in one of those bodies, every one of those other bodies is affected as well, which is why when we heal, it must be holistically and in everybody. Otherwise, the root of the issue will remain and the problems, may return. This is, example of this would be, someone having had cancer and having gone into remission, which is just a suppression, a temporary suppression of the symptoms. And then, because the root of the problem, which may be something mental, physical, or emotional, still remains, then the issue can return. And so we have to heal holistically so that we are actually in a true state of balance, a true state of homeostasis, that true state of wholeness. And so that's what this is about. And self-love is required for this wholeness to be achieved. So, again, love is just this energy that is projected from the heart center, and it draws to itself energies of the same vibration. Again, you don't have to be conscious of this in order for it to be happening. Okay, but those who resist the flow of this energy, whether they're doing it unconsciously or consciously, if you are suppressing emotion, which is energy in motion, okay, if you are suppressing it, if you are resisting the flow of feelings throughout the body, to move from the heart out into your world, you are limiting the flow of energy that is also coming in. This this flow of energy is the river of love that is, it springs out of the heart, and it is reflected back to us in the energetic mirror that is the universe. I always talk about how, the universe is God in the mirror. And so when we are looking out at the universe, we are literally looking into the mirror. God is the indwelling spirit. The universe, the world that we see, our own personal reality, is the mirror. Okay. And so what happens is, since everything you see in your world is a reflection of you, if you see scarcity and lack, not just of material things, but of a lack of love, a lack of peace, a lack of joy in your life, is if there is, a lack of any of these things in your reality, it is due to you not projecting enough of it out into the world from within yourself in order for it to be reflected back to you. Okay, I just said something. So I'm trying to explain the ways in that we affect and create our own reality. Okay, by allowing the energy to flow from our heart center to be pushed out of the intellectual realm, out of the imagination, by the energy in motion, which is the fuel. It will push your visions, your dreams, your desires from the inside of your mind to say the inside of the part of your mind that is contained within the body, to the outside of the body, because the mind is, it encompasses the body, and your body is literally inside of the mind. Okay, so you can measure this scientifically by measuring the aura, measuring the torus field, which is essentially the electromagnetic field that is being generated from the heart center and surrounding the body, and it forms the Merkaba, which is your light body vehicle that you can use to transcend dimensions and to enter into other realms of experience. Okay, when we don't restrict this energy, this flow of energy, and we allow it to just flow at a steady momentum, because that is naturally what it is meant and designed to do, is to move in a steady flow in harmony with the abundance of the universe. And so when we suppress and restrict that flow of energy, we fall out of the balance of the natural cycles and rhythm of nature. This is the rhythm of love. Okay, if anyone is familiar with Anita Baker, which is one of my favorite singers, she has a song called The Rhythm of Love, and she talks about how life has a rhythm and everything has a rhythm, and love. She says, oh yes, love has a rhythm. Okay, so check out Anita Baker, Rhythm of Love, one of my favorite singers, my home girl from Detroit. Very soulful sister, and speaking on some very deep knowledge and putting it into, a song, which is again a form of hypnotic rhythm. And so, yes, life has a rhythm and love has a rhythm. Okay, and when you are suppressing or restricting the flow of energy of love that is coming from the heart center, then you are restricting, your own rhythm, and you're falling out of rhythm with, and you're falling out of balance with, the natural rhythm of life. Even the cycles of the moon and the sun and the seasons, of nature all move within a rhythm. And so, the law of rhythm is an immutable law, another one of the immutable laws that we cannot escape, but that we must learn how to use to our benefit. So again, if you're seeing scarcity and lack of anything in your life, it's because you're not projecting enough of it out from inside of yourself into the world, which is just a reflection of your own internal state of being. Okay? So again, if we allow this to flow freely, then we come into balance with nature, and then everything is just naturally magnetized to us. Okay, the nature yields to us our heart's desires, because the builder lives in the heart, and this flow of energy is coming from the builder. And so if we don't suppress that, then everything bows to our will, because it is literally the will of God. So when I'm talking about coming into wholeness, into balance, into homeostasis, this oneness, I'm saying aligning your egoic will with the will of the Most High. Okay, and when I say the Most High, you can also say, refer to it as the most deep, because I'm speaking of an indwelling spirit that is resonating at a higher vibration, okay, than the part of you that is on the surface. Okay, so Carter. So I saw something so beautiful today that I just had to, it put me in a vibe. And I'm never going to apologize for just fully appreciating, um, something that the creator made that I see is absolutely perfect, whether it sees itself as perfect or not. And this is my attempt to help us to all see the perfection in the creation, without the judgment, that we put, that's a lens that we put over, allowing ourselves to see the perfection in the creation. When we judge something as good or bad, or as, light or dark, or God and devil, up and down, what we really need to understand is that everything is necessary. The yin and the yang are not separate things. It's not yin and yang, it's yin yang. Okay, and yin yang is one thing. And so when we believe in the illusion, then we will see yin and yang. But when we see through the illusion and we understand the truth, then we see yin yang, and we understand that this is just two different sides of the same energy, two different spectrums of the same light, flip sides of the same coin. So, love has a rhythm and life has a rhythm. And this rhythm is being generated by the builder. And we must acknowledge the builder, and we must submit our will to the builder and understand that the builder has more power, wisdom, and strength than us. Okay. And the builder is the one who laid the blueprint for your heaven. Okay. And so, in order for us to get this, we have to get out of our ego, believing that we are God alone. And we have to become a co creator with the indwelling spirit who adds the power of that love energy, the emotion, the energy and motion that will actually push our imaginings out into the world to actually take form and then be reflected back to us in the mirror that is the universe. Okay. So, but when we insist and we continue to insist upon building the reality that our ego planned for us, okay, in our thoughts, in our thoughts alone, the reality that we insist upon building with our intellect alone, we are literally resisting the plans that God has made for us, that the Most High has created for us. We are resisting the blueprint that the builder has set for us. So we are, making things harder for ourselves than they have to be. And so, when we resist these plans, we fall out of balance with the natural rhythm. Because again, this rhythm is being generated by the master builder. Okay. And so we have to get in tune with that rhythm instead of trying to go against it. Now we have been given free will to, decide that we're not going to go with it, but the consequences are that you fall out of balance with the natural rhythm, and you're not going to be able to, manifest your heart's desires in this way. Okay, so the master builder laid the blueprint, and so in order to, you know, be in alignment, you have to submit, okay, to the original blueprint that was laid. Okay. The scripture is coming to me about, I know the plans that I have for you, and they are plans to prosper and not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. And so this is coming to me because I know that, it's important for people to understand that your creator already has a plan for your life. And sometimes we try to plan our life, and sometimes they don't go along with the plan that was set for our lives, and then we feel that we failed. And the only part of us, when this happens, we usually go through an ego death, and the only part of us that has failed is the ego has failed at its attempt at being God. Okay. And so when we submit to God, and we, understand that, yes, we are a part of God, but we are not God alone. We have to come back together with all the other pieces of the puzzle in order to see the whole. And so we have to submit to the highest power, which is love. Okay. And this love, again, is this flow of energy that I'm saying is, is what gives life and breathes life into our creations and into our manifestations when we are in alignment. Okay. And so this is all about getting into balance and alignment and into the natural rhythm. Okay. That is the generator that's being generated by the master builder. This energy literally is being pushed out from within the heart center. Okay. It again, I talked about how the heart is the subconscious mind, and it is the heart that thinks. So when the energy is coming out as thoughts, it's coming out from the heart center as a thought that is fueled by emotion, by energy and motion, which gives it the fuel to be pushed out from the mind outside, and to, from the brain and the intellect into the part of the mind that is outside of the body. Okay. And when it moves outside of the body, then this energy, which is just energy in motion, when it moves outside of the body, it takes form, and it encounters the mirror that is the universe. Okay. And this is how you are able to see yourself. This is how God is able to see God's self, because I literally projected the energy out into the world and gave it a form, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Okay. So I hope that I'm making sense, because I'm really just working off visuals that I'm seeing and then downloads that I wrote down. Okay. So just imagine your heart, or you, as the center point, focal point of anything that you're trying to manifest, and project that energy outward, okay, from the heart center. Fuel it with the emotion of loving what it is that I'm trying to create. Okay. So for example, if you want to imagine your perfect mate, okay, your divine counterpart that God made for you, they're going to look exactly how you want them to look. They're going to sound and act and be exactly how you need them to be, because this is literally the yang to your yin. Okay. And again, you are not two separate beings, but you are one. Okay. And it's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. It is not about the illusion of separation that we see with our physical eyes. It is about the truth that we feel when our hearts and our minds connect, and we don't restrict the flow, which is an alternating current of love flowing from builder to builder. Because at the core of the yin and the yang, of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, at the core of everything that is living is the same builder. And so the only reason for the others to even exist is so that we can see the self in the mirror. And so once again, the universe and all the people, places, and things that you see in your own personal reality are but reflections of your own internal state of being. These are other parts of the self. Okay. And so if we take it back to the prime creator, then we should be able to understand how the entirety of creation is just God in the mirror. Okay. Such a natural feeling, and oh. So she's singing about this in this song, about how we just move into one another, and we were created to merge into one another, and we were created to fit into one another, and we were created together. Okay. And it was only when we entered into this illusion of separation that we began to see ourselves as masculine and feminine, as man, as woman, as light and dark, as God and devil, good and bad, yin and yang. Remove the and, because there's nothing in between. When you come into contact with someone who is a soulmate or divine counterpart, or an infinite flame, a twin flame, all of these romanticized, versions of love. And I'm not going to, when I use the word romanticized, I'm not saying that they're unrealistic, because it is the realest thing that you can ever experience. When we experience this, what we are experiencing is simply this alternating current of the river of life, the river of love that is being projected from the heart center where the builder lives. And I'm recognizing myself in that other person. Twins. Because the builder in your heart center is a flame with a throne in it where the builder sits. Okay. And so when we talk about twin flames, we are talking about, I see the God in you and you see the God in me. And that is God and Goddess. That is creator and creatress. That is sun and moon. That is yin yang. That is what love is. Okay. And love is God. And so it takes the negative and the positive charge to make God. It takes the man and the woman to make God, the masculine and the physical, the masculine and the feminine. Okay? Neither one of you are God alone. You are God together as one. So the people, places, and things that you see in your reality are simply reflections of your own energy, your own inner God or goddess in the energetic mirror that is the universe. When we struggle against this flow, this natural flow of energy that the builder is generating from the heart, and we decide to continue working on our own plans or our ego's plans, even when even when we see that it's not working, that we're being unsuccessful, when we see that we just keep running around in circles and making the same mistakes and coming to the same point, and life becomes a cycle of negative hypnotic rhythm, where it's like Groundhog Day and there's no growth, there's no expansion. It's just the same repetitive cycle, sometimes of self destructive behavior. This is because you're struggling against the natural flow that the builder is generating. You're trying to create your own reality and going against the will of the prime creator. Okay. And so when we're trying to work out our ego's plans, we fall out of balance with the divine blueprint for our lives. Okay. And so in order to understand the divine blueprint, we have to understand the creator of the blueprint. We have to trust that creator. We have to develop a relationship with that creator. But there are those, because we have free will, we can choose to not even acknowledge the builder or the creator of, our reality, or the writer of our story. Okay. And so when we fail to do that, then this is why we, see so many people, and we find ourselves again not in alignment with the natural flow and the natural cycles of nature, and things like the circadian rhythm, whether are we sleeping, eating, and resting, at the correct times to be in flow with the natural rhythm that is being generated by the builder. Okay, the circadian rhythm, the cycles of the moon, the cycles of nature, all of these are indicative of this flow of life that I'm speaking of, that is being generated by the builder. Okay. The monthly menstrual cycles of the woman, all of these things are connected. Okay. I am one of those women whose monthly cycle is very much in alignment with the moon cycles. Okay. Because everything, the cycles of everything, are being generated by the same builder. Okay. And so there is but one God, and having many experiences and expressing itself in many ways. Okay. And so you and I, Mark, are two different expressions of the same creator. And so this is the oneness that I'm trying to get people to understand, the harmony that we have to come into with the flow of energy that this builder is projecting from within you. And a lot of people, because of their fear of this power, of this love, of this light, they restrict this flow. They shut down their heart. They resist this flow. They don't allow themselves to experience love, because that's essentially what it is. Okay. It's the energy from the builder. And when you're in harmony with this flow, we feel we are at peace. We feel optimistic, about our lives. We're in constant receipt of divine inspiration. We're inspired to, do and say things and make certain moves, and, you know, do certain things, because we are being driven now by the indwelling spirit. And so the indwelling spirit has taken the wheel, and now we are allowing God to be God. And this is what the scripture means when, it says, be still and know that I am God. Meaning that if you just stop trying to, being so outwardly focused, and you focused inside and focus within, you will understand that you literally are God when you allow yourself to be in alignment with the spirit that, that lives in your heart. Okay. And so being in that flow is being in tune again with the cycles of the seasons, the sun and the moon, circadian rhythm, the ebb and flow of the energy between two people in love. Okay. Two people in love are two people gathered in the name of God. Okay. When two people are gathered in the name of love, God is there in the midst. And so I talked about this briefly the other night when I spoke about, two people's Taurus fields meeting to form the Vesica Pisces, which is a portal, the portal to heaven, where you enter into two by two. And you enter into this by both people surrendering to that third energy that is created when they allow their energies to merge. God is there in the midst. So even in love, there is a rhythm. Divine lovers attract and repel one another at times like magnets. Hence the twin flame separation and reunion phases. Okay, if the people who are familiar with the twin flame journey, there is a phenomenon of twin flame separation and reunion. And if you feel that you may be on this journey and you're not familiar with it, you can Google either of those terms, and there is a lot of information out there to help you understand what you're going through. Essentially, what twin flames are experiencing is this dance of energies where there is a natural alternating current that goes back and forth, up and down, in and out, okay, until a fire is ignited and an eruption occurs, okay, and new life is created. And so this is a natural rhythm that happens between two pieces of God when they come together. The law of rhythm is the act of God making love to a reflection of God's self by coming back and forth, up and down, in and out of the illusion from the truth. I just said something. Yin yang, truth, illusion, darkness, light, divine masculine, divine feminine are the personifications of this energy. Yin yang is one energy appearing as two. Okay, appearances are very deceiving in this time. They only appear to be two. They are one energy and they need one another in order to experience the self. Why? Because there is no other. There is only the self. They are one, yin yang, not yin and yang, but yin yang. And so, meaning that energetically, the ebb is the other side of the flow. The dark is the other side of the light. Okay? Down is the other side of up. Woman, the other side of man. These energies were meant to be complementary and not in opposition to one another, because one is necessary for the other to experience itself as itself. This ebb is as much a part of the flow as yin is a part of the yang. Okay? The cycles of nature and of the sun and of the moon are all a dance to the rhythm of love. When we are dancing, there are times of movement when we're moving, and then there are times when there is a pause in the music, there's a break in the music. This is where we are waiting for the beat to drop again. Okay, so it's like when we're dancing or we're singing or we're creating music and there's a break or there's a pause in the music, we don't get sad or feel like the music is never coming back. We know that the beat is going to eventually drop. Okay, so in that in between time when there is a pause in the music, this is the time when we should be, and I'm using this as an analogy, okay? In the moments when we're waiting for the beat to drop, this is when we, or I can even use the analogy of when you're making love or having sex passionately, okay? And you might be going at a really, it's passionate, it's a the momentum is there. And then you might want to just switch up the pace, from being so very passionate and vigorous to slowing it down and being more sensual. You might want to go from having sex to making love. You know what I'm saying? And so switching up the pace or taking a pause in the music or a break in the dancing is not an end, okay, to the dance. It's just a pause where you're waiting for the beat to drop. And so when things slow down or there is a pause in the rhythm of your life, take this opportunity to commune with the builder within you. Take this opportunity when there's an ebb in the flow of whatever has been going on in your life, and you feel like things have slowed down. There's a pause even in your twin flame connections when you're in that separation phase. This is the time to focus on you, to love on you, to like I said, slow things down and commune with the builder, meditate, journal, enjoy visualizing and using your imagination during the times of the ebb, because once are in tune with the rhythm of life, you know that even when there is a pause in the music, the beat will eventually drop again. And when it does, you're going to be ready to do your big one, because you knew it was coming. It's like you're in tune with the rhythm of the music. So you can do your big one in perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do my best move when the beat drop, because I know when the beat is going to drop. I'm familiar with the tune. I'm in tune with the music, the rhythm. So I can I can write my song, my rap, so that the cadence is riding the beat just right. I can choreograph my dance so that my body is moving with the music just right. Even when the beat drops, I know it's not over. This is my time that I'm building up. I'm ready to do my big one when the beat drops. So even, to my people who are in separation from their divine counterpart, don't be so drawn into the illusion that you really believe that there is a space between you. You are yin yang. There is no space between you. And regardless of what the illusion, looks like, and regardless of what those who believe in the illusion or those who are stuck in the illusion believe, you know the truth. You know that yin yang is one. You know that divine masculine and divine feminine are already in union. You know that there is no separation between the pieces of the God puzzle, that this is all part of the illusion. Okay, so when we're looking at yin yang, when we're speaking of light and darkness, when we're speaking of God and devil, when we're speaking of any two parts of something, we're speaking of truth and illusion. Okay, and the difference between them. And at the end of the day, there is no difference, but other than the visage. Okay, one appears to be, something different than the other, but it's the same thing, just manifesting itself in two different ways. And so once you are in tune with this rhythm of life, you know that even when there's a pause in the music, that when that beat drops, you're going to know when it drops. Okay, you're going to be ready. You're not going to have to get ready, because you know when it's coming, and you're going to do your big one because you knew when it was going to drop. You're in tune with the rhythm, and you were in perfect timing. You were in perfect alignment. Okay, and it feels amazing. I talked about the other night how when we are dancing, we are God. And I believe was an African proverb that I heard. And the reason why when we are dancing, we are God. And I'm going to end it with this song coming on, because I like this song as well. This is Tweet. I don't know why my old Tweet songs are playing, but the reason why when you are dancing, you are God is because mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, you are all in agreement when you are dancing. Music, the rhythm, the moving through the body has bypassed the ego. It has bypassed the logical mind. And mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, you are in agreement and you are in alignment. And when you are in alignment, you are God. You are whole. Okay? You are holy. And so again, being ready when the beat drops, and understanding that the ebb is part of the flow. And so not allowing the ebb to feel like it's a, feeling like this ebb and flow, and this rhythm of life is, ups and downs. If we don't judge the ups and downs, and we understand that they are both necessary in order for the other to exist, then we can just ride the wave. Okay. And when we're in between waves, we just, we don't have to struggle against the current, but we can just sit there and allow the wave to carry us. And when we're in the ebb, we just be ready for the flow and enjoy the ride. And this, my people, is hypnotic rhythm, okay, being used the correct way. And so I will continue the conversation in the upcoming midnight mindfulness sessions. I did want to just plant those seeds of reverse hypnotic rhythm so that we can begin climbing out of this psychoma, this soul sleep that we have been in, for, several generations, my people. And this is the great awakening. This is the time of change. This is the golden age of enlightenment. And, this is the time that we are waking up in mass, and it's a beautiful time to be alive. And so, again, this is our introduction to reverse hypnotic rhythm. We will be continuing the conversation and going deeper within the self. I do appreciate the people who have joined me in real time, and also those of you who will find me in divine timing. Okay. And until we meet again, my people, peace, love, life, healing, and abundance. And I will see you guys